If you track your incoming leads through the website, through a CRM or any other platform, and you have that data there, you can simply just divide the number of leads that you got over a period of time, say the last 90 days. The industry standards for website conversions are generally between 2 to 4%, but this can vary based on your niche, your business model, and the type of marketing that you're doing. In order to know what your website is converting at, you need to either have conversion tracking set up, which you would. Welcome to Websites That Convert, the podcast where your website stops being a liability and transforms into your greatest asset. I'm your host, Shannon, and I'm going to guide you through the strategies and insights you need to build a website that not only attracts, but converts. Let's dive in. What even is a good website conversion rate? We talk about website conversions every single day, whether it's with clients, me on the podcast, with the team. Everything that we do in the agency is about increasing website conversions. Now, most websites don't convert at a very high rate, but how do you know whether you are at the industry standard, below, or above that? All you know right now is whether you're getting the amount of leads that you want. So in this episode, I'm going to teach you how to figure out what your conversion rate is, what the industry standards are, so across all industries, and how even small changes that you can make dramatically increase your conversion rates and how that translates into sales and revenue for you. I'm also going to teach you how to set up conversion tracking using Google Analytics and Tag Manager, because if you aren't measuring, then you don't know how you can improve. Which brings us to our first point. Pretty much, I'm going to say around 80 to 90% of I'm going to say 90 to 95% of businesses actually don't know what their conversion rates are. So this is from how many visitors they're converting with their website to how many leads they're converting into sales. And so if you don't know those numbers, there's no baseline to know whether you're doing well or you can improve, or if what you do or change makes a difference. So the first thing that needs to happen is for you to figure out what your website conversion rate is. So you know where you're sitting at right now. It creates a baseline, because generally you may see or know that you're not getting enough leads or sales through your website, but you don't know whether that's a traffic problem or it's a conversion problem. Like, you don't know whether there's something going on with the website that means that the conversion rate is low, but you just don't have those numbers, so you just can't make any informed decisions right now. So you're basically going to be throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping that something eventually sticks, but again, you'll have no idea whether it's helping or not. So in order to know what your website is converting at, you need to either have conversion tracking set up, which you would have through Google Analytics or Google Tag Manager. So if you're working with a website designer or agency, they should have that set up if they're doing any marketing for you, or if not, perhaps they set it up for you and you can go and check. Alternatively, if you track your incoming leads through the website, through a CRM or any other platform, and you have that data there, you can simply just divide the number of leads that you got over a period of time, say the last 90 days, look at how many website visitors that you got, and divide the number of leads and inquiries by the number of people that visited the website, so how much traffic you got. So that will give you the number that is your conversion rate. So that is the first step. That gives you the baseline of where you're at right now, so that anything that you do moving forward, you can know whether it helps or hinders. But once you have that number, you may be asking, well, okay, I've got this baseline, but is it even good, or is it not? Is it bad? Is it terrible? Or is it amazing and we should just drive more traffic? Well, the industry standards for website conversions are generally between 2 to 4%, but this can vary based on your niche, your business model, and the type of marketing that you're doing. So if you're doing a lot of marketing to a broader audience who aren't ready to buy, the website conversion rate may be lower. If you're doing more strategic advertising that is going out to people who are already ready to take action, your conversion rate may be higher. So you can Google and find out what the industry standards are for your specific niche, but generally it's going to sit between 2 to 4%. So if you calculate your conversion rate and you're higher than that, it could be a matter of your traffic volume is low, so conversion rate is higher. And generally, if you try to, scale with a lot more traffic, sometimes it doesn't equate exactly. Or if it's, lower than 2 or 3%, then you definitely have a conversion problem. Now, for some context, we'll generally have websites converting with the clients that work with us between 4 to 7%. Now, this can vary again depending on the type of audience, the type of business, the kind of offers they're selling, and a lot of other factors. But the 2 to 4% is literally like across all different industries and can vary so much. And so it just gives you a kind of guide of where most businesses are. So it's definitely not something you should be aiming to try and get into. It is more than possible to get that up into the 5 to 7 or even 9% conversion rate if you have a well thought out strategic high converting website and a marketing strategy that's driving the right people to your offers and it's making them want to take action. So just wanted to preface that with that. But going into how even a slight increase in conversion rate could make a huge difference for your business. Imagine that your website is getting 1,000 visitors per month, and right now your website is converting at 2%. Now, this is still in the industry standard, and that's 20 leads. Now, I've seen websites that are converting at 0.05% or literally 0%. So 2% is not great, but it's not terrible either. Like, it's not something we would be aspiring to, but at least it's yielding some type of results. But anyways, that 1,000 visitors is turning into 20 leads. Now, let's say that you convert half of those leads into customers, and each of those customers is worth $1,000. And let's say you convert half of those leads into customers, because we want to take into account what that sales process is too. It's not just all about getting as many leads as possible. We want to make sure that those leads are actually yielding results for you and your business. But if you're converting half of those leads into customers, and let's say they're valued, each customer is valued at $1,000, which means that from those 20 leads, you're making $10,000. Now, let's imagine for a moment now that we increase that conversion rate to 3%. Really slight, small strategies could definitely increase a conversion rate by 1%. Now, if we were to apply our entire website that converts method into your website, you would be seeing a conversion rate much higher than that. But just for argument's sake, let's say we only increase your website conversion rate by 1%. So with the same amount of traffic, you're going to get an additional 10 leads. So you're having a total of 30 leads coming through every single month. And because there's another 10 leads, you're converting half of those, which is another 5 customers. And that is resulting in another $5,000 per month for your business for doing nothing more than improving your website conversion rate very, very slightly. But now you're probably thinking, okay, well, how can I instantly increase my website conversion rates? Like, I want to make another $5,000 per month, or it may be significantly more for you. So this is my top 2 tips to increasing your website conversion rates, and something that you could do pretty much straight away. The first is to work on the hero section. So I talked about this on the Perfect Homepage episode. So if you haven't listened to that, definitely go back and give that a listen. But basically, your hero section is one of the, if not the most important section on your entire website, because most of your website visitors are going to be landing on your homepage, and the first thing that they see is your hero section. So this is the first section right at the top of the homepage. And so you want to ensure it's super, super clear what it is that you do with a strong value proposition, and your main call to action super easy for people to use. So this may even look like a form right in the header. Whatever you do, you just want to make sure that it's very, very clear what your value proposition is, what it is that you do, with a strong and compelling headline, a sub-headline to support that, your call to action, and then some type of imagery that supports that visual aspect of what it is that you do. And if you want to go that extra mile, have a form right in the header too, because those people that are ready to take action straight away want to take action straight away. Everyone has a very short attention span, so the more that you can do to make it easy for them to take that next step and take that call to action is better. Now, this doesn't always work for every single website and every single design. Regardless, you want to make sure that that hero section is optimized for your audience and makes it really easy for them to understand what it is that you do and how they can take action. So that is tip 1. Tip 2 is to optimize your calls to action. So one of the biggest mistakes that I see on websites that don't convert is that their call to action is contact or get in touch. No one wants to go to a website and get in touch with someone or just contact them. They're looking for a service. Now, yes, there's going to be people that use your contact form, and that's completely fine. We even just want to ensure that we have that contact or get in touch feature, of course. But for those people that are actively searching for what you do and are ready to take action, they want to have a more valuable action to take, like to request a quote, book an appointment, or get pricing, sign up to something, apply for your service. So get them to do something that gives them something in return. Now, again, this is going to be different for every single business. So I can't tell you what your call to action should be. But what you should think about is, what is my sales process right now? If someone was to contact me through the website, what would be the next step or offer that I would give to them? Would it be to book an appointment? Would it be to get details from them so that they can receive a quote? Would you send them the link to apply for something? Whatever it is, you can have that on your website as the call to action. It doesn't have to go through the contact form first. So you probably already have or know what this action should be. You just need to look at your sales process and get it onto your website. And yes, keep your contact forms and your contact page on there for the people that do want to go and use that. Now, lastly, I did promise that I would tell you how to track conversions on your website, because if you don't have this, you're basically flying blind. So if you have a WordPress website, there are 2 ways that you can set up conversion tracking. The first is through Google Analytics. And in order to make this work, you need to have a thank you page where people are directed after they submit a form to a page that basically is like the domain name /thank you or whatever. Now, inside Google Analytics, you can create what's called a key event. So when someone views that page, they will come up as a key event or conversion inside Google Analytics. That is the most easy and simple way to track conversions on your website. Now, if you have more advanced advertising going on, you're doing Google ads, or you want to also track email clicks and phone calls, and maybe have a couple of other actions on your website you need to be tracking so that you can optimize your campaigns for those conversions, then you're going to have to use Google Tag Manager. So this is another Google tool. It's a little bit more advanced compared to analytics. You may or may not have it set up on your website yet, but essentially you can get it set up and you can track those more advanced conversion actions on your website and see exactly what people are doing so that you can optimize your campaigns for those conversions and track things a little bit deeper. But for most people, most business owners, just setting it up in Google Analytics will be enough to know what's working and what's not, and at least give you a bit of an indicator of how your website is performing in terms of conversions. Now, a side note to that is, if you don't have a CRM or some type of like lead management system right now, please go and get one, because I'm going to talk about this in another episode as well. But these systems and processes around your lead management and lead pipelines and re-engaging leads and nurturing leads and ways that you can keep your audience engaged and also re-engaged, like I mentioned, is going to help drive even more results for your business. It's also going to allow you to have every lead that's coming in one place, basically like an email list and contact list. And you'll also be able to see that more physical or tangible platform where all of your leads are that are coming through the website as well. So you can see like physically that your website is bringing in new leads and potential business for you. So that will then allow you to know or see the result that those leads are allowing you to achieve by also tracking how many leads are converting and if there's a sales problem, and also following up leads effectively and all of those kind of things. So there's obviously the conversion tracking element with those Google softwares, and then there's things like a CRM that will allow you to physically manage and see the leads that are coming in too. So to wrap up this episode, today we've talked about how important it is to measure your website conversion rates and how the industry standards generally range between 2 to 4%. How even a small increase in your website conversion rate can make a big impact on your revenue. We've talked about how you can make simple changes to increase your website conversions by optimizing your hero section and calls to action. And I've talked to you about how you can track conversions using Google Analytics or Tag Manager. But if you're at the end of this episode and you're feeling overwhelmed, or you're still scratching your head and maybe tech isn't your most strong point and you have a WordPress website that you'd like to have conversion tracking set up for, go to our website or reach out to us on any social media platform with the words conversion tracking, and we will set this up on your website 100% free. I want to see more business owners know how their website is performing right now, so you can get an accurate baseline and we can see how your website is tracking in terms of industry standards, and perhaps even some things that we can do to help you get better results with your website. And so reach out if conversion tracking is something you'd like us to set up for you, just with the words conversion tracking, and we'll get it sorted. But that's it for this episode, and I will see you next time. Thank you for listening to Websites That Convert. If you found value in this episode, please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Follow us on all social media. And if you're a service-based business owner that's looking to double their website conversions, book a call with my team using the link below. I'll see you in the next episode.